Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and this is Gamedec. Now, I'm adding a big disclaimer at the start of this game, okay? We may not get to see a full playthrough on the channel, and I'm going to explain why. I'm recording this introduction after the fact. When I first tried to record this game about 4 years ago, I recorded 2 episodes and I enjoyed it a lot. Then the game developers announced a major update would be coming, including a new DLC, a story DLC, which would begin in the area I reached at the end of my second episode. So I stopped recording, and I thought, I will wait for this new DLC to come out, and hopefully I'll be able to play on from this point. But I was enjoying the game a lot at the time, so I decided to play off camera for a bit while I waited for the DLC and the huge update. And it turns out I had to wait about 3 or 4 months, I think. So it was a long wait, and while I was waiting and playing off camera and enjoying myself, I, for quite possibly the only time in the entire history of this YouTube channel, accidentally saved over my recording save file. Yeah. So this disappointed me, and I thought, oh, that's not fun. It's because of the way these save files were named and organised, it was an easy mistake to make. I think I might have done it once very recently in another game, but did it while I was recording. So I was like, oh, okay. And so it was an easy fix. I was able to go back to an autosave and get back to where I was, essentially. In this game, that wasn't as possible. So, being somewhat disheartened, I continued to play the game, left it for a while, eventually came back to it a few months later and played it all the way through to the end. I also created a save that attempted to replicate my initial playthrough, which you'll see here, and it was identical up to the point where I was going to start again, because there was one random event which happens at the beginning of the game. It is a random time that the event occurs, and I could not get it to trigger at the same time that it had previously while I was recording. It triggered a little bit later, so slightly out of sequence on the replay attempt. But apart from that one tiny little event being slightly out of order, everything was exactly the same up to the moment where I saved the game and was ready to continue recording. There are a couple of other things to be aware of. This game has a photosensitive epilepsy warning, which I absolutely covered, I'm pretty sure, in my old introduction, but I don't think I stressed it quite enough. There are 2 moments in the game which I would consider to be extremely dangerous to photosensitive epileptic viewers. I mean, in all honesty, these lights and colours swirling around rhythmically could be dangerous to someone who's epileptic. I don't know how bad it would need to be. But there are 2 moments in the game that involve strong rhythmic pulsing lights, which I would consider quite dangerous, and one of those came rather near the beginning of the game with very little warning. If you are a photosensitive epileptic viewer, the incident occurs around the 90-minute mark, plus whatever the length of this introduction is, because I'm going to tack this on the front, and lasts for approximately 7 minutes. It is the moment where my character puts on a virtual reality headset and connects to the Matrix, essentially, to log into a private server to try and rescue someone who's trapped and unable to log out, while a hacker is attacking and trying to keep them logged in and stuck in the middle of the logout process while their body can't sustain being in that state for so long and they need to return to consciousness. There are large concentric rings of throbbing light coming in towards the center of the screen while the character hangs in limbo, and it's very vroom, 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 you know, very quick, very throbbing, very bright light, moving very quickly, repeatedly. I do not think it is safe. If you are vulnerable to that sort of thing, maybe don't watch this video at all. If you really want to experience the story, and you get to that part, and you get to the part where I say, like, I'm putting the helmet on, as I put the helmet on, I connect and see the person's senses, and you hear my voice as a commentator saying, oh, I think I know where this is going. You might want to either skip ahead about 7 minutes or close your eyes and just listen for 7 minutes. This is actually the moment where I stopped on my recreation attempt, because to try and help the person log out of the situation involves a puzzle, and the game gives you the puzzle. However, it gives you the puzzle as a journal update while you are in the conversation of playing through the puzzle itself. And nothing at this point in the game at all has told you or given you any kind of inkling that you can actually open the journal mid-conversation. What you are supposed to do in the conversation when you see the journal update is ignore what's actually going on, open the journal, read the journal update, which gives you the solution to the puzzle, close the journal again, go back in, and this is all interrupting the puzzle, which is urgent, and you're trying to save someone's life, you know. You're then expected to implement that solution to the puzzle, which you didn't know you had because they didn't tell you were allowed to look at it yet. I think that's a bit sneaky. That's like a meta, out-of-character mind game dirty trick by the developers, so I'm not very pleased about that. I wanted to try and solve that puzzle in my initial playthrough and failed because I was using guesswork and intuition and had not looked at the journal entry because I didn't know I could yet. I was going to look at it after the conversation because clearly I was mid-conversation, mid-cutscene, wasn't supposed to be able to interrupt it and go and look at anything else, but no, apparently this game handles things a bit differently, and you are supposed to, like, step out of the conversation, go look at your knowledge and go, oh, this is what I can do, right? So, the game has an important anniversary coming up soon, and they've announced a new DLC, so I might consider doing a full playthrough. If I do, I could start a new character and play through from the beginning, or I could load up my replay save with essentially a clone of my original character who'd made all the same choices and decisions, gained all the same test results, but one random event had happened like a few minutes later in the story than it had on my initial playthrough, and I preferred the way it initially happened, so it's basically the same. And then pretend I'm continuing my initial playthrough from the point of that puzzle where we may gain a different result. Incidentally, solving the puzzle, the result isn't that different, but it does give you a little bit of helpful information. So, if I don't record any more of this game, hey, you've got 2 episodes to enjoy, you lucky, lucky viewers. And why not sound off in the comment section down below and let me know if you'd like to see more of this game. You'll at least get episode 2, which will go up in the very near future. Probably this is going up on a Friday, so I'll probably put the next one up on Monday, because weekdays get slightly higher viewing figures. And then next month, when the game gets its new DLC, I think the DLC for the game is just a couple of character presets. Essentially character skins. So nothing massive, just a nice little something extra. But there we go. At this point, I'm going to cut into my original introduction to the first episode, because I'm just tacking this on at the front. And I'll probably put a little sort of disclaimer intro like this one on the beginning of the second episode as well, probably a bit shorter. But hey, for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun. You've got a whole episode to watch. Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and this is Gamedec, a game in which I get to play a game detective. Now, I've had this one on my radar for a little bit of a while now, and I picked it up, I don't know, something like a week or two ago, and I'm finally getting round to it. A lot of people say this game is very similar to Planescape Torment, or even Disco Elysium. I've played played Planescape Torment, never played Disco Elysium, but I have watched a couple of playthroughs, and the writing style is very similar. There are indeed things which both those games have in common. In both of those games, you're playing a person whose life has come crashing down, they've obliterated almost everything, and they're trying to work out how they managed to let things get so bad last time round. You know, who they were and who they now want to be with this sort of not exactly fresh start blank state, but with the opportunities available to them. Now, my understanding in this game is that we don't have that same central character motivation or driving us forward to investigate, to explore, but instead we play a detective. Actually, the new Shadowrun games had a similar writing style. A lot of people would describe the writing style as a sort of heightened sense of awareness. Now, that always feels a bit odd to me because being on the autistic spectrum, I kind of live in a heightened state of awareness all the time, apparently. So when I played Planescape Torment, I was really overjoyed to find something where the style of writing matched my experiences. Lots of little details, thinking about things, analysing things, overthinking things quite often. Speaking of which, actually, I have an unfinished Torment playthrough on the channel. I should really go back and pick that up at some point. But I want to at least, step into this and see how it goes. Quick paranoia check. All looks good. That just means I was checking I'd actually pressed recording and everything was working properly. Look, sometimes things mess up and I don't want to lose the first episode, okay? So, yeah, in this game we play a game detective in a world where everyone is playing virtual reality games all the time, to the point where they've actually kind of lost contact with real reality, and then we get hired as a detective to go into people's games and solve problems. So I don't know if that's going to be like someone is like, hey man, look, my kids in this game, they've been playing it for hours, they need to go do their homework, can you get them out of it so they can, do a bit better at school or something? Or someone would be like, I've lost my cat, or whatever, I don't know, right? It could be anything. Cat up a tree, don't know. Look, why did I say cat? It's the children's song, Don't know what to do. What is it? Lost something, cat up a tree, don't know what to do. Just ask a policeman, a big friendly policeman, PC McGarry number 452. There's quite a few verses to it actually, but I can't remember the whole thing. It's been like, probably over 30 years since I last heard it. So I am concerned that as a detective, we will be lacking the personal drive and energy to want to do things, but we'll have the professional desire to solve puzzles, investigate. Let's dive in and see how it goes. I don't even know if this game has character creation or if we play a pre-generated character. I do know this game has a lot of side quests, and it might have some downloadable content of some sort or expansions somewhere, but options. Should I look at options? Hello, options. Dialogue interface wheel. Does it have to be a wheel? List. Let's go classic, I think. Tutorial on. Well, I've never played for log into Twitch. I don't have a Twitch account. Right. Graphics. Game window. Yeah. No limit. Okay. Should I put a limit on? Also, this game had an epilepsy warning at the beginning, so there may be times where there are some, flashing lights and colours. I don't imagine it's going to be anything like the end of 2000 AD, A Space Odyssey, At least I hope not. These are all default settings, by the way. I'm just looking to see if there's any. So this is controls. Pause menu, close current panel, escape. Okay, yep. Tab to change movement speed. I don't know if that's a toggle or if it will be like cycle through a list or what. Dialogue choice, can't I just use the mouse? I mean, possibly, right? Interactions on the left button, slider, middle button, nothing on the right button. Okay. Quick save and quick load, absolute abominations. Never use quick save and quick load, always save manually. Because if you frequently quick save and quick load, you don't remember when you actually have a decent manual save to go to. And if you stop playing and then start playing again later, you can totally obliterate and lose loads of progress and go, where was I again? Right. Deduction. Y-U-I-H. Well, no. Oh, no. Deduction Y. Codex U. University? I for professions. And H for collapsed quest. Look. I mean, it's very QWERTY UEOP. So it's going Y-U-I... No, because the H is underneath for Y. That is a really weird keyboard layout for those. Huh. Hopefully I'll be able to do all those with a mouse, and those will all make more sense. And space is continue or end. Oh no, it's not press space to continue, is it? Or click to continue. Those games can be a bit... accessibility, interaction size, yeah, font scaling, dyslexic font. I am not dyslexic. If any of you watching this are dyslexic, let me know and I can change the font mid-playthrough. There's a whole comment section down there below the bottom of the video. Feel free to use it. Colour scheme, normal vision. Oh, is there like a deuteranope? Well, that's kind of mauve. Protanope. I suppose these are different kinds of colourblind. Tritanope. Normal vision. To the best of my knowledge, am not colourblind. I might be... There's a tiny possibility I might be slightly colourblind, but if I am, I don't know about it. Controls tooltips on... Yeah, fine. Look, we're good. Let's get in there and see how it goes. I mean, in theory, right, our detective could look different in every game they go into. Although they might also have a standard detective appearance, so that when they appear in the game, the players know that it's the detective come to solve their problems.
It's a strange profession, Gamedec. You're neither a player nor a detective. You know the rules and how people break them. How they leave a digital trail. And there is always a trail. A flaw in the source code. Backdoors used by cheaters. Anonymity skins, used to cover up unpopular activities. All can be found. All can be traced. With a lot of skill and a little bit of luck. Sometimes more than a little. Because there are surprises.
That looks very samurai for knights.
But in the end, you keep your eyes on the prize. This is my story. What's yours?
Alright, I did see lots of changing appearances there. So perhaps we do take on different guises based upon the games we enter. Realium. Lots of code going past really quickly. Press any button to continue. I will pretend this is a button. Personal information. Character name. Gamedec is apparently a name. Pronouns. Get the fuck out of my game with this pronoun bullshit. Well, at least they've acknowledged we only get the two genders and there's none of this syphilafim bollocks adding letters crap. Origin, low city. Will that change how we dress? Low city, high city, low... No explanation of what these are. And we might want a name. Values. Self-direction. The dominant value guiding your character before they chose the Gamedec profession. Your choice will determine the aspects they will start their adventure with. So, the question is, are we going to go around telling everyone my name is Gamedec, he, him? Or is it just that if people talk about us in our presence to other people, they'll say, yeah, him, he did it, that one over there, him, right? So if it's just like letting the game know, then sure. We got lots of pretty pictures here. Let's see what they look like. This looks like Mr. Default Man. Can I rotate him? I cannot. And these appear to be full... Oh, okay, slightly oriental. Slightly more oriental in the face here than over here. Okay, that face is considerably more attractive than that one. That's very thin and angular. This is... She's got broader cheeks. So, difference between these two. Is it like Western features, Eastern features? Yeah, slightly, okay. Got this lady with some great cornrows there. That's lovely. I'm not sure which of these I like. No, I am. Just not. I want to look at all of them first, okay. Okay. Getting some rather vibrant coloration there. So these ones all on this row all like these goggles. And some of them are... These two ladies are pretty into facial piercings. So this is just again slightly more Western, slightly more Eastern, and then we got the African one. Hang on. West, East, African. West, East, African. East, African, West. East, African, West. Okay. Then we got African... probably East and West. One way around for these. Ish. African... This is horribly reductive, by the way, to break it down like this. And then we'll call that one slightly more Eastern and slightly more Western. So yeah. They could have kept it consistent. So it'd be like that, you know, like Western, Eastern, African, Western, Eastern, African. I like the way that they changed it on each row, so that you don't go, oh, there's a, you know, like West is best, East is second best, African is third best. It's like, well, not on this row, mate. Or this one. You know. I quite like this one, to be honest. Yeah. Well, obviously she's not pretending to be a boy. You know, unless she's done something wrong with the computer code, and she's supposed to be a competent detective, so, let's have her at least know how to use the system a little bit. Low city or high city? We know virtually nothing about them. That coat is a bit trendy. It says kind of high city, right? But does the shortness of the coat say more low city? I don't know, let's go high. And should we give her a name? I think we should give her a proper name. Ciolina de Vries. Right. I once met a Ciolina. I only know that because of her name on an official piece of paperwork afterwards next to her signature. Might not even be pronounced that way, but it is for this playthrough. Right, what happens next? maybe we get some skills. Apartment. Realium. Okay, so we were in Realium. Probably that's like the real world, and it says apartment. Realium. The roof of the Undercity is one of my favourite spots. Even though I'm standing on one of the lowest walkways in Warsaw City, I feel like I'm on top of a mountain. Below me is a 150-metre long gaping abyss stretching over the seemingly endless ruins of old Warsaw. A ground cleaners company, Cyclops, chugs away in the distance, clearing rubble from old blocks of apartments. If you look hard enough, you'll notice bonfires made by savages among the dust and fog. I can hear the humming of a nearby MCC beacon, standing guard and watching over me. Yes, the ROU is definitely one of my favourite spots. Blog The Dark Side of the Megapolis. Alfredius 55. There is a possibility we'll get to access this blog entry. Don't know for sure. Also, Alfredius 55 means it might not even be our entry, right? It's just like someone in this area has put this up, and as we're just like branching through, you know, just ambling along, we're like, oh yes, let's just open up the latest social media and look at what someone's written about it. I didn't remember why I became a game deck. At some point I must have decided that it was a reasonable way of making money. Then I just got used to it. Yeah, reading through the window, a little bit difficult. Dialogue options. To choose a dialogue option, left-click its text or click the corresponding number on your keyboard. Here's the thing. I don't click numbers on my keyboard. I press them with my fingers. If I use a mouse and I'm like, keyboard, over here, it's not really going to work, is it? You know, it's like, no, you must use the mouse, the left mouse button, to press the number keys on the keyboard. Otherwise, it won't work. Dialogue history. To see the conversation history, click the arrow at the top of the dialogue window. Will that extend it up, or it looks like it? Is there a middle? This is 1. That's 3. Is there a 2? Anywhere? There we go. Codex information unlocked. Galahad on Gamedec. So, Galahad writing about Gamedec, like an explanation. Obvious Arthurian reference. Exceptional purity. And there's people meandering about down there. Okay. Will she look around first, then refresh her memory, or is she the kind to just lie down and think about it for a bit first and then try and take in her surroundings? Looking around could prompt, could remind. So yeah, sure. I mean, that's introspective, that's more... Yeah. I mean, when I wake up, I'm painfully awake almost straight away. I don't wake up slowly, like some people. I'm wide awake and painfully so, and wishing I was back asleep again, generally. I'm not a morning person. Right then. I was surrounded by the real world. That is, Realium. I could hear Warsaw City humming outside the window. I lived in Tower Stone in Wola. It's probably Wola? I'm not sure. It was the end of the 22nd century and the people were crazy happy. Kidding. Some were, some weren't. Which group did I belong to? I wasn't sure. She doesn't look too happy. I mean, I'm not quite sure cynical is the way to describe her expression, but kind of a bit tired and world-weary. And she doesn't seem to be wearing very much under that shirt. That is very open indeed. Right, okay. I solved numerous cases, so people started to believe I was credible. And credibility was crucial in my line of work. Pretty much everything can be falsified, but you can't fake credibility. Games, besides being my workplace, also became my second home. Did you ever play for fun? Yes, sometimes I did. Oh, did I ever play for fun? Yeah, sometimes I did. It was time to check if there were any new jobs. New objective, get a new job. You're a shit detective, get a new job. Movement. Left click anywhere on the ground to move there. Of course. Now, use the tab key on your keyboard to adjust movement speed. Okay, so it might not be a toggle. It might be a cycle through different movement speeds. Obviously I want to walk. You don't run unless you're in danger or in a real hurry to get somewhere. You don't, you know. Left click an interaction icon to interact with the object or person in your environment. So we have a speech bubble, an eye to look at something, a cog to do something. Interaction icons. Some interaction icons are always visible. Others will only appear when the circumstances are right, e.g. when you are near them. Again, that makes sense for, like, look, there's a guy there, I can talk to him. Oh look, if I'm investigating this thing, I've got to walk over and look at it. That appears to be running. That definitely appears to be running. Let's fix that. Okay, can I slow it down even more? A little bit more realistic. Oh god, it's gone all the way up again. Okay. It might just be 2 speeds. Yeah, looks like 2 speeds. I cannot interact with this thing. There is a window. Let's look at all these things. Professions. Aspects are part of a game deck's personality, expressed through actions, thoughts, and emotions. Be kind to gain the empathy aspect. Inspire someone to gain inspiration, and so on. Aspects are grouped into 4 following personality types: decisive red, analytical blue, creative yellow, and sociable green. Okay, so Bernie makes stuff happen. You'd think Bernie destroy, but okay. So light a spark, light a flame, light the fire. Gotcha. Yellow, bing, light bulb, yeah, sure. Green, heart, social, yeah, sure, and puzzle solving, yeah, great, okay. Professions unlock special conversation options, enabling you to do more. However, hover your cursor over a profession to see its description. Each profession requires a different personality. The descriptions will indicate which aspects unlock a given profession. A profession will be highlighted if you have the required aspects. Click and hold the left mouse button on a profession to unlock it. So, 431. We probably don't meet any of these requirements right now. Vox Populi. When I was at school, our German textbooks had a bit near the back where it was like talking about a German pop group called Vox Populi. Spelt, you know, Popoli or Auli. It wasn't spelt this way. Let's see. Mindfluencer. Yeah. So, we have a number of points, right? And points mean prizes. Determination, authority, sincerity, indifference, impatience, specific, selfishness, and target. Inspiration, spontaneity, optimism, verbosity, of course, energy, expression, atmosphere, and intuition. Rules: calm, loneliness, caution, logic, facts, discretion, and accuracy. And empathy, listening, trust, compassion, amicability, service, pacifism, and education. Education is social. Interesting. Well, it is if you brainwash it. 1 and 3. So I presume it's just like number 1 and number 3 to go left and right. So we began the game with 2 extra points in yellow, which is like creativity, right? Inspiration, creativity, new ideas. I don't know if that's intentional or if our high town low town choice affected this. Low town might have given us some red or a bit of, I don't know, right? This could be default for every new character. So we have codex. Characters, all completely blank. Virtualium. Gamedecs. Galahad on Gamedecs. Cal, one more stupid question. Shoot. What do you think about Gamedecs? I think it's a fun but completely unneeded profession. A blown up nothing. Redundant. Ooh, Frank, I disagree. Being a game deck is a sensible profession. Wait, it's 3 of 5 pages. Oh, we got page 3. Okay. But when something bad happens inside a game, it's easy to just pop up the hood, take a look inside, and see what's wrong. Such problems should be handled by programmers, analysts, not game... And that's where you're wrong, Frank. Just like my mom, when she added cocaine to the cake instead of baking powder. She did that? Yeah, in real life too. What a woman, but let's cut to the chase. Games are complicated, right? Right. AIs are watching over them, right? Right. The number of cheat-on characters composing them is so great that no one person could ever know the whole program or even the simplest game, right? I'm not sure about that one. Frank, in my brain, there's 100 billion neurons, and yours there's half of that. And every neuron has 10,000 junctions on average, synapses. And multiply 100 million by 10,000 and you get a 1 and 15 zeros. It's called a quadrillion. So? Your helmet controls a quadrillion synapses. Now take a game like Crying Guns, where there are 50,000 players on a single server. 50 times a quadrillion gives you 50 trillion variables per second, and that's just controlling the brains of the people playing the game. When you add their stimulation, neuronal response control, creation of the world with the whole sensory report, i.e. pictures, sounds, smells, flavours, temperatures, you're going to get a factor multiplying all of that by another million. Around 50 quadrillions of variables per split second. That's a lot. You're fucking right, that's a lot, Frank. We're talking about one server in a living organism of a game adapting to a situation on the battlefield in a simple sensory world based on battles and clans. Can you imagine the array of this world? No. So now imagine that someone throws a cheat in there. Find it. Impossible. Order an AI to find it when the person who implemented it made it so that AI can't define it. That's possible? It's easier than you think. Now, how did you find that cheat? How do you find that cheat? Oh, I don't. Exactly. You don't find it by browsing the code, but a game deck will. How? Game decks usually don't know about programming, at least not at an expert level. Game decks don't browse the code, they look for the people who implement the cheat and nicely ask them to remove it. Oh. Oh. Game decks handle people, not code. They observe, draw conclusions, deduce and analyze. They need 3 things. To know about games, to know about people, and to have a high IQ. They examine the problem like birds flying over a labyrinth. You're stuck in that labyrinth, running in circles, so you outsource. You call a game deck. They come, take a look around, analyze and find the problem. Bingo! And then they say the famous game deck catchphrase, detection ends case. Galahad on games. Hosts Cal Galahad and Frank Wellington. So we have 5 potential pages here. This style of writing, just running all the dialogue together, is a bit tedious. We have gossip and dark web. No dark web available on this source. We have technologies, organizations, and realium. I presume we will find more of this stuff as we go. Deduction. No data. The main nodes are questions that are key to your deduction process in solving your case. Gather information and choose answers based on that information to unlock nodes until you research the final conclusion. So it's kind of like a spider diagram thing. Okay. Now, I don't know if this will change for each case or if these diamonds here will let us switch between different cases. I don't know if we can have multiple cases working at a time or not. Let's look out the window. Warsaw City. My polis. Yeah, not a metropolis. Polis is like the body politic, the human population, the people. It's like my people. Yeah, look out the window. Of course. You know what? If I'd known this was set in Warsaw, I would have given her a different name. So clearly, maybe her parents were immigrants, right? There could be an interesting story behind this name. Also, it's like 200 years in the future. People in Poland could have very different names. I don't know. Over the last couple of thousand years, regional names don't change that much, but it's future. There's high-speed travel, safe travel. It's not like it's the Dark Ages or something, Walkways, squares, space, and chasms. That's what modern cities look like. The middle layer, mid-city. Despite dense developments, you could still see the sun and pieces of the sky, as well as the long way down. Nice view, or I don't know. Is she bad with heights? Look, she's a game detective. She detects things in games. Virtual reality, 3D worlds probably shouldn't be bad at heights. And if we look at here, my polis, she feels at home here. She feels safe. She likes this place. So, nice view. She appreciates it. I felt a connection with the people above and below. I could hear the transit tubes, new mobiles, the humming ads. It was never quiet. Void stars, what is... Is that an advert? It's probably an advert. This was where the rich met the poor and light met darkness. A place where you could be pretty much whoever you wanted to be. And where advertising drones peeped through people's windows looking for new victims. Why can't I send Glacier? There it is. Well, I just can't do that. I'm not allowed to. So, how could I possibly have gained access to this already this early in the game? Either this is not a default, and it was based on my character creation choices. Yeah, the portraits might even affect this, right? Which is tricky because then you run the risk of talking about racism. But hey, the schism of the ray is not a factor here, right? I'm just playing the game and having fun. So there's two options here. Either there were some decisions I could have made during character creation which would have allowed me to meet the requirements of this, or this choice is here to show me that choices like this will become available later on when I gain access to new things. If this is available now, the choice that cannot be taken, that might be a questionable game decision. Let's think about this, ponder for a few moments. I had a few things I needed to think over, like why I was being targeted by an advert for something called Void Stars. Oh yeah, you come over here, it moves. The drinks cabinet moves. Or are those like big bottles of cleaning fluid to clean the window with? You can't really contemplate without a drink in your hand. Luckily, the server bot knew exactly what I needed. And why did it know that? What kind of neural link do I have? Or what kind of signs or symbols am I giving off that make it whoosh right over? The Surfer Independent logo had slightly faded already, but the servobot, as usual, patiently awaited instructions. Coffee, whiskey, tea, or vodka? Well, it's got to be tea, right? I don't... Look, she's just woke up. It's morning, and even if it's not early morning, it's early in the day for her. She's not going to start the game getting completely rat-assed. It's like, yep, I like to wake up with a drink, and then another drink, and then I'll do some detective stuff. Yeah. Right. Tea and coffee are both disgusting, but coffee is more disgusting and tea is a bit more palatable. Besides, if there's some nice herb teas, then those can be okay. So sure, yeah, we'll go with tea. Obviously, also, I have an English accent, so gotta choose tea over coffee. Because coffee tastes disgusting. More importantly, coffee tastes like coffee and I can't stand it. But hey, my character is not me. I have options, I have choices. But she does look a little bit like Liz Hurley, so tea, yeah, sure. Some dialogue choice options are available only if you have the right profession. Such options begin with the name of the profession. Click the icon on the left edge of the screen or press I to see the profession tree. Yeah, look, about that. Infotainer. Good for remembering stuff. That's going to be like over here somewhere, right? I could have had this right from the beginning of the game, sure. Now, requirements. Am I spending these to gain this? If I'm... Right. Bear with me on this. If I'm spending these points to gain this, then that makes sense and allows for a lot more handling of points throughout the game. If I'm merely just counting the points and adding them up, and they're constantly rising and making more and more things become available to me, then I imagine points are going to become a lot less stingy and I'll get a lot less of them. So let's find out if I'm spending them. Then again, are these being used for anything apart from requirements for these, right? So, because these have a number of associated sub-skills. So let's grab this. And they are spent. Look at that. So the skills, I think, look relatively the same, but maybe a little bit lower due to the lack of points. You know how to produce a net show and how to smile to the camera. You possess a rare gift, charisma. And you know how to use it. You can turn any conversation into a media interview and transform resisting interlocutors into effusive companions. People recognize you and want photos with you. Everyone is nice to you. Almost everyone. Yeah, some people are jealous. So, knowing that we are spending these mean we need to be a little more cautious about what we spend them on. But sure, I want to be able to pass a check, so let's go for it. Let's, yeah. I always liked tea. It opens your mind and cheers you up. I had a decent chemical blend and the real, more expensive stuff. More expensive option, reputable brand, or less expensive option. Sure, we'll go for something with a good reputation. Food and drink manufacturers regularly supplied me with high-quality products for my servobot. All I had to do was to mention their brand on my social media ever so often. Oh, that... So I'm literally providing the reputation. That's why it's a reputable brand. The infotainer check is to be promoting the stuff. Here with my cup of coffee, or my early morning lasang souchong tea, or whatever it is. I decided to think some stuff over and get to work. Sensory worlds, recent events, send the advertising drone away. I would love to. If I can get some points from these, which will get me the glazier. What does it require anyway? It's, like... A but I can't take this again. Right, scalpel. Oh dear. Right, okay. Don't want to be a cheater. 2 blue, 1 of everything. So I'm a long way away from that. Alright. Thousands of games and millions of players mean plenty of cases for game decks. Hatred, greed, and deviousness are especially common online. Yeah, there's this thing called Twitter, or at least there used to be a couple hundred years ago. I always thought Twitter was for twits, but maybe it doesn't exist in the 22nd century. Wait, is it 22nd century or 2200, in which case that would be the 23rd century, because there's no year 0. 2 topics have been particularly popular in the media recently. Digital love and whether it's better to live online or in realium. I took a sip. Game fans say they let them fulfill their dreams and that they don't have to obey the rules of nature, which apparently are a bitch. They could choose gender, looks, go on adventures. Opponents called it escaping and claimed you can only get tough in realium. Realium presents real challenges. On the other hand, good money can be made online too, and it's no less complicated than realium. Right. I am a game detective. I go into games to solve problems. I spend a lot of time paying attention to things in games. It's where I need to... the sole focus of my existence to be. That being said, I get paid in realium. I get hired in realium, I hope. Unless I'm in the middle of a game and I get like a call and someone's like, hey man, I want to hire you to do something. And I'm like, listen, my pronouns are she, her, it said so in character creation, so fuck off with this man stuff, even though man is gender neutral. Yes, it is. Because, well no, man isn't gender neutral, it is in the 1970s. Maybe a little bit in the 80s as well. But men means a group of men and women. Or a group comprised entirely of men. Women, group of women. Men, group of men. Men can also mean a group of humans, as long as they're mostly adults or, it's a bit different with children, but yeah, sure. It's a subtlety of the word men that isn't always picked up by people not native English language speakers. Decide that you prefer realium. If I prefer games, am I like a junkie who's like, oh yeah, in the game, man, solving the cases. I've got to get another case so I can go in and, oh yeah, solve that problem. Or is it more like, you know what, professionally, I like looking for clues. I like doing my job, right? And would this mean I like slacking off? But then when I step out of a game and come back into reality, it's got that extra vibrant sense to it. And that knowledge that, there's like no second chances, right? It's like, if I do something wrong, I do nothing wrong. I don't know. Look at her. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. Yeah, this time's just crawling by, isn't it? Let's have her prefer her professional experience over her. She looks like she likes a bit of fun in her spare time, but also likes to get down and work, Century worlds are kingdoms of themselves. There are plenty of affairs, people, and nuances. I wasn't surprised some people called them home. Experiencing things in games is no different from... We are not American, thank you very much. We're Polish, apparently. So they probably speak American English by this point. It's probably obliterated traditional English another 200 years in the future. Experiencing things in games is no different from experiencing them in realium. It's just a different and more interesting level of reality. Calling it interesting is subjective, but yeah, recent events, sure. So I've been talking about the Pygmalion technology developed by Blue Whales Interactive. It upgraded AI to the level of the human psyche. That is potentially very dangerous, because it doesn't necessarily have the same... The AI doesn't need to exist in realium, in the real world, so it might not have the same... Especially if it's a human psyche, then it might not understand the concept of consequences the same way. It'd be like, hey, I'm an AI, I exist on the internet. Screw you, you know. Recent gossip. A man named Ken Zhu, a young Gudabad star, screwed up in the last game and his Black Angels lost. So I'm not getting all of these, right? I'm getting to choose from one of each of these and not going back. The Pygmalion technology then. I mean, she's might be a bit of a social influencer, know a bit of showbiz stuff, but still looks a bit like Liz Hurley. So being interested in this sport or game would make sense, but she's already expressed that she likes she likes the virtual reality, so would be interested in the technology behind it, especially if she's a Gamedec, right? BWI claimed, that's Blue Whale Interactive or something, claimed they could create human beings, obviously for a hell of a price. Such humans are called diginets, as in a net full of digital things. I think diginaut, as in like astronaut, might have been a more interesting term, but hey, sure. A diginet has a synthetic brain, a rendon, but no body. Oh, so a synthetic brain is a rendon, not that's comma and a rendon, but okay. A diginet has a synthetic brain, a rendon, but no body. It lives online unless you buy it a mobrium. Like ogre. I'm thinking like mobile place, but it could be mobrium, I'm not sure. There were demonstrations at the company's location against this technology. The protesters claimed that diginets were unnatural. Yeah, you know what, they got a bit of a point there. Look, I mean, do diginets have rights? Are they like Robocop, where OCP is like, look, he's company property, we don't care about his rights? If they're gaining consciousness, and yeah, but they probably shouldn't have been created. It's pretty... the protesters had a pretty good point, because it messes with the real world, right? Realium, in ways that are probably very unhealthy. Diginets hadn't been tested and the technology hadn't been verified. It worked because BWI said it did. Did they actually prove it worked, or were they just making claims? Because that is a V and not an X, isn't it? I'm not sure. It looks like a V. V minus X. I mean, it could be... 50? Nah, that can't be right. I was thinking Roman numerals there for a moment. The protesters were right to demonstrate. Pygmalion was a suspicious technology. I can't send the bloody advert away. Can I just lower the blind? It was time to get to work, unfortunately. Get a new job. I can't click on this. It's not there. Oh, okay, I can. That's a cool. Jeffrey Haggis. Hello. Someone was sensing me. It turned out to be a man called Jeffrey Haggis. I didn't know him. Nevertheless, I answered. Okay, definitely a different style of writing. It's not the detailed descriptions I would come to expect from Planescape Torment or Disco Elysium. It feels more sort of fast-paced and heavily focused on the present.
Please come to me. I'll tell you everything when you're here.
Oh, you're there. Please come see me. Blue Whales Interactive Tower, level 255, south entrance. I'll tell you everything when you're here. Payment in advance? That's very mercenary. Actually, I know a few people who are like that. But, I'll ask a little about details. Could you tell me some more information? I told you. You need to get here first. Alright. Look. I'm not gonna try... Look, that might have put him on edge, so I'm not going to try and get some dosh. As you wish. I'll be there shortly. He disconnected. Well, that was quick. Right, there's an answering machine. Hello, answer phone.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you able to stand up from the couch? Or are you already a castaway?
Sounded a little bit like the same man's voice, but not entirely. So it was, hey you. Yeah, you. Are you about to get up from the couch? Are you sitting comfortably? Sounds a bit creepy, to be honest. Quest log. Check the mail on your computer. Go see the client. Well, that's... No breakfast? No breakfast. Deduction? Do we have anything yet? No data. It's to be expected. Can we rotate the camera? We cannot rotate the camera. It is a fixed camera angle. A jukebox. My latest purchase. So she likes some Realium then. I'll leave this as it is for now. I can come back here later, I presume. And I need to find my way out. Can I just walk through here? Good, there's a door. This looks like some kind of office.
Breaking news.
Warsaw City News. The latest domestic and international news all day long. So it's like Radio 4, right? Probably not. Today is Monday, 17th of July. Oh my god, American date format. Okay. Blah. My name is Gina Gord, and this is the news. Hello, Gina. Ken Zhu, the young star of Goodabads, lost the game miserably. Yeah, there's been chat about that. That's newsworthy. Zhu blames everything on glitches in the game. Interesting. Is that a case of a bad workman blames his tools? Could this be the end of the youngster's career? That was the only thing on the news? Oh. Gaming is life, apparently. Bliss. I don't get to experience bliss? Why not? Ah. The control panel for the apartment's AI. A fine piece of software that didn't treat fridge contents as its first priority. You could also talk to it. Its name is Bliss. That's the default name, and I never bothered to change it. I don't think I want to talk to it now. I think I will want to speak to it later when I have... That's my gaming rig, isn't it? That massive chair with looks like a dentist chair. A really highly padded dentist chair with a load of tools on the side. I think I will consult with it later when I want to check some stuff. Like, did anyone come in my apartment while I was out? Computer. My computer. It controlled the couch, communicated with household appliances, let me send messages, and did everything else. It was old and could use an upgrade, but it still worked well enough to be reliable. I'll check my emails. Continue. Infotainer! Fame had its price. I had hundreds of emails to ignore. I'd have my butt reply to my most dedicated fans. There were also a few mails from clients I had helped. Those needed replies. I'll do that personally. Hope I don't piss off the client taking too long to get to him. But, you know, a girl has to suffer for her craft. First message. Senator Stone was grateful for working out what his daughter was doing into the dungeon 1337. Offer a reply kindly. Offer a discount for the next contract. Shill that money, shill. Offer some advice. He's a senator, a politician. So I don't think offering him a discount for next time, like that hard push for business, I think that'll won't please him too much. I mean, no, he's probably a hard-nosed businessman himself. Reply kindly makes sense, right? But actually offer some advice if she got into some trouble, because he's a politician, right? He might be a bit out of touch with the youth of today and his daughter. So sure, a little bit of, don't be too pushy or bossy with the advice, but like supportive, right? The senator couldn't handle his children. I gave him some advice. He could use it. Oh, that gave me a red point. Okay. And skills are going up again. That's good. That's good. Reply kindly would have probably been green. Offering a discount would probably have been blue. Or maybe yellow. I got through the other emails quickly. Some were invitations to events, some were spam. I replied. Check contracts. I already had one contract, but it wouldn't hurt to check. Maybe there would be another one. Infotainer! Friends would tip me off when they heard that someone, particularly a celebrity, had a problem to solve. Nothing at the moment, though. So, the contract from Haggis was the best thing I could give my attention to. Alright, let's look on the net. A new case. I wondered if anything would surface on the neck. I'll look for Haggis. Yeah, what can I find about him? Who was Jeffrey Haggis? The director of the programming department at Blue Whales Interactive. Well, this... Look, I'm getting elements of Caves of Steel here. One of Isaac Asimov's best novels. A really good read. Gossip, disgustingly rich art collector, has suffered repeated burglary attempts in conflict with his wife Eleanor and son Frederick. I mean, if he's like, I have created new life, it's digital, it's amazing, and they're like, and she's like, no, you created new life when you stuck your dick in me and our son Frederick came out 9 months later. He was supposed to have recently installed a safe in his office, which was opened with music. I wondered how much of that was true. Well, look up Blue Whales Interactive. Look, if I'm going to go meet these guys, I need to know my stuff as a detective, right? I imagine lawyers do something similar in this kind of situation. Although probably not thinking about dicks and babies coming out 9 months later quite so much. Blue Whale Interactive, or BWI, the leader in the field of AI, their flagship product, the dating game, Paradise Beach. And that's a multiplayer game. Oh goodness, it's going to be really trashy, isn't it? A little less known, but still popular, was the game Knight's Code, a clan battle game based on medieval Japan. So, virtually nothing to do with knights then. Although knight... If it's like Knight's Code to sound like net code, that could make sense. They made luxury helmets, and ladies and gentlemen, they could make human beings. Their Pygmalion upgraded AIs mimicked human psyches. Yeah, but are these like AI players in the games, or like brain in a jar kind of stuff that you could have in your bedroom and have it read you a bedtime story or something weird? Games. Let's have a look and see what games are around. I mean, I might have to install some new ones I don't have, you know, if I'm going to investigate. Right. Void Stars. The advert outside of one is... Yeah, give me an advert for something I already have, you wally. I earned in several games, but was recently focused on one. Void Stars. Yeah, the not-so-subliminal messaging outside my bedroom window had nothing to do with my choice to play this game shitlots. Still in development, even though it had already been released. Yes, about 2 centuries ago, that used to be called Early Access. Sort of. It was supposed to be bigger than all previous space simulations, including one called No Man's Why? Though that was hard to imagine. I'd already bought a few ships, I just couldn't help myself. They were damn expensive, but what the hell? I loved looking at my fleet. Buy a new ship! Buy a new ship! Obsessive compulsive disorder. What was more exciting than expanding one's fleet, improving the quality of the ships? That much-hyped Vulture X was sure was tempting. A fantastic exploration vessel with a medical bay, a hangar with a scouting ship, strong armour, a crew of bots at your command, all for a bargain price. The price would increase later. Damn it, I couldn't afford this baby given the state of my finances. Oh, it's almost like I have to do my job. Oh, I'll read the news. I want to look at my ships. I'll read the news. Welcome to the Void. We know you want to play, and so do we. Unfortunately, we are carrying out a maintenance check so we can constantly improve. We'll be back soon. That was news. Too bad. I could have done with some flying. Oh, look at my ships. I entered the hangar. Where was the spawn all ships option? I found and selected it. What a beautiful view. Starting from the lightest vessels, Flyrock, an interceptor spacecraft, Slidehawk, an assault unit, Orca, an infantry carrying dropship, the gunship Giant and 2 jewels in the crown, Corsair, a big exploration ship, and Skywalk, a merchant vessel as solid as it was bulky. Beauties, all of them. The Vulture X would really make this collection shine. I don't have the money. Vulture, the beauty of players' dreams, was really testing my willpower, and that discount... Damn it, I couldn't afford this baby given the state of my finances. Well, I'd better... Yeah, go do something else. I got a chair, a fancy chair. A virtual couch made by Surfer Independent. Not one of their newest models, but it was still reliable. At least I thought it was. Look, this is obviously the detective, the impoverished detective down on their luck financially, just struggling to work. So it's like, yeah, I got a computer. It's not the latest model. I've got a virtual gaming chair again. Shows my interests, but it's like an old, I can't afford to keep up with the times, A poet would call it a gateway to the sensory worlds. To me, it was just a tool of the trade. Is that the helmet there? Just like a headrest? Right, okay. Sure. I'll check the fluid level. Fluid levels were low. I still had a few tanks left, but it's always good to have reserves. So is this a... Right. I'm wondering if this is a game with a long central plot, or if it's all like loads of individual cases and like trying to pay the bills. I'd like there to be some kind of interconnected plot. Maybe I'll start finding one hacker across multiple games or something. Oh god, it's going to be like a dating simulator. You find the hacker, track them down, and then they're like, will you marry me? And you're like, oh god, I suppose I might as well. Let me guess, I can't afford any. Look at the helmet. It was starting to fall apart. I needed to replace it. Damn it, such important gear wouldn't come cheap. Yeah. I get the hint, game. You want me to get some money. I couldn't afford it at the moment. I needed a few jobs first, or one big job that paid well. I'll check the couch log. 17th of July, 21.99. 3:30 PM. My last session took... Okay, so it is the very tail end of the 22nd century. The couch showed an error message and a suggestion to restore default settings. Maybe Surfer-independent couches weren't as reliable as I'd thought. I suspect that restoring default settings on an older model like this may cause problems, so I better just leave it. The thing's glory days were long gone. A game deck shouldn't skimp out on things like this. It was time to consider buying a new one. If I'm going to buy a new one, I shouldn't order any new infusion fluid. Because I could put it in this one. If it's like in a separate canister, I can have it, and would it work on the new model, or would I need different infusion fluid, right? If I need different infusion fluid, it's like printer cartridges, right? Let's say my printer's breaking down, I need a new printer. I'm not going to order a new ink cartridge now for a printer that isn't working, unless I'm saving up money to afford a new printer. Let's just leave it and hope it doesn't run out in the middle of something important. These keep looking like something I can interact with, but they're not. Okay, anything over here? Is this a toilet? It's a door I cannot open. Solid doors protected me in my apartment. This looks like a door I can open. Or maybe they protected Warsaw City from me. I better go see my client. I've spent long enough in the apartment already. Objective complete. Get a new job. I haven't even got there yet. Haggis's office in Realium. So I go out the apartment, up a lift, and there I go. The unofficial name for the highest levels of a polis. High cities feature walking platforms, flying junks, and the densest network of new mobile routes. It's become customary to believe that high cities end at the level where the highest reaching routes of the public transportation tubes are located. Multisensory Encyclopedia, 33rd edition. Now, my character is from the higher city. She's now down in the medium city, because obviously it's nearer where the work is, but obviously also a bit down in her finances, so this is a bit of a come down for her. So she'll be wanting to make a... I suppose if she's from a lower city, she'll be have more motivation to go up higher, be like a social climber in this case. This is like a down-on-their-luck celebrity who's had to turn to being a private detective to try and make ends meet.
The director's office is behind that door. Mr. Haggis is expecting you.
That's it? That's all you're going to say? Okay, fine. Right, we got a yellow point, apparently. We still have a yellow point. So maybe one of those ticked in there, I'm not sure. So this is like fake neural pathway of the brain. Sensory celebrity. I mean, ooh. Hang on, how many of these are celebrity? Mindfluencer. This is like, oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, the voice for people that... I'll have to look more closely at these. Sleeves. Survival instinct. That's what characterizes you best. So, yeah. I hope these points come slowly enough that I can't get everything, but I can get like about 2/3 of things by the end of the game. Well, I'd better go meet with... Why am I running again, game? This is a... Yeah, this is a fancy office. I shouldn't run around. I should probably look here after. The computer on the desk was not secured. The empty workspace exuded a corporate solitude. The nameplate on the desk read, Junior Customer Support Specialist Idris Ikari. I'll assess the chair. An ergonomic chair adapted to the size and measurements of its user. It was configured by someone small, most likely a woman. Idris is a man's name. You're Idris Shah, Idris Elba. Some woman with gender dysphoria or something. I mean, this far in the future, with people being this out of touch with reality due to playing all the, virtual reality games they like, who knows if they even know what a woman is these days. Or a man, for that matter. Well, apparently Selena De Vries knows what a woman is, because she knows one fits in that chair. I shouldn't look at the monitors, but I'm a nosy detective. It's my job. The screensaver slideshow changed between landscapes beyond the ABBs and the towers of Warsaw City. Breaking the sequence, an image of two women embracing appeared on one of the monitors. One of them had blue hair. Not my business. I'll stay out of it. By which I mean, if I access the computer, they're a big computer company, right? They might notice. Look, can I just walk through this door? I can. Automatic door. And there's the man himself.
You're here. Good.
The man took a deep breath and let the air out through his nose with a loud wheeze. You're here. Good. Icons and tags that appear on the left of the text mark dialogue branches that you have unlocked by your previous decisions. So if I'd spied on the computer, I might have noticed something and been like, hey, you got some nice assistance or something. Other players might not see something different, or nothing at all. There are several ways an interaction or a dialogue branch can be unlocked. Your previous knowledge, past actions and relationship you have built, not built but build, can all unlock pieces of the narrative. A branch can also be unlocked by your background, a profession you have unlocked, or a deduction you have made. Not that we have enough clues to make any deductions yet. Probably could have got some from that computer. That's a very skinny panda with a very slim midsection. They're normally chunky of them, aren't they, or plumper. Also, the fact that it's in these 3 boxes instead of 1. Is it like a weird 3-part model that makes a panda when you put it all together? Or do they... That's weird. That's really weird. And it's supposed to be. Past choices. He took a good look at me. Because I asked for more information. Or because I didn't ask for more money. I will not take the initiative. This man runs a big company. I've already got a red point. I don't need to push it, right? Also, yeah, some of these need lots of red points, but essentially, this is about status. He's a company executive. I'm some guy he's going to hire. He is going to tell me what he wants me to do. I'm not going to be bossy and take over. Tell me about the order. What order? No. I'll just introduce myself. Be polite and professional. Hello, my name is... I know who you are. I'm Director Haggis. Something's wrong with my son. He's not getting off the couch and... well, you'll see for yourself. It's been over 4 days. He entered some game with his friend Timmy. I've tried talking to Timmy, but he's clammed up. His condition makes me worry even more. He's not epileptic, is he? My son is on the couch in the next room. Let's go there now. You're the boss. And it's a cutscene, so I don't really have any choice. I can't stand around here and be an... Oh, they're both on couches, are they? Is the other one Timmy? And this looks like the screen image we had of persons talk to thing to investigate, right? Here he is. Find out what's going on with him and how he can be helped. Haggis's son was wearing an expensive brand-name suit and a state-of-the-art helmet covered part of his face. And that just went away far too quickly to interact with, unless I really ignored what I'm supposed to be doing here. The couch's side panel warned that he'd exceeded the online time limit. I couldn't help noticing the genital area of his gaming suit was bulging. Oh dear. Examine Fredo. Don't know what that is? Let's find out. Deduction. A job from Haggis. What do I do with this? Oh, just more clues. Right, okay. No data, no data, no... Right. Again. So these could all be different. We got this one, right? Job from Haggis. Or is it all just one long thing? Right. Got Bliss. We'll look at Bliss sometime. Jeffrey Haggis. Interview. Today we have a doubly powerful guest. Not only is he a big guy, but he's big. What? Was that well said, Mr. Haggis? It's Director Haggis, but I have my doubts. And I have my doubts. As to whether it was well said? Yes. You're the CEO of Blue Whales Interactive, right? Yes, just like you're the owner of this station. I'm the director of the AI department, sir. That's good enough. Excellent, Director. Since we know how things are at work, what's going on at home? Are your kids healthy? Is your wife faithful? I'm warning you, one more stupid question and I'm leaving. And yes, my son Frederick is doing well and getting great grades. He's a talented artist. Eleanor is the perfect mother, partner, and lady of the house. Can I ask you a question now? Well, go ahead, Director. Could you ask me a question that's actually interesting? Gossip about the great host, Teddy B. Isn't like Teddy Bear. So, Jeffrey Haggis interview. So these tabs are just for this, and I presume I'll find out more things as I do. Gamedec verse site, Virtualia, Void Stars. I should probably look into all this stuff at some point, but it does feel that it would slow down the investigation. I might look in between episodes. I don't know yet. Professions, all well and good. So far, all of these require at least 3 different colours, right? Yeah, and some of them require 4. So what was this Fredo thing? Organizations, Realium. Because that massive giant pop-up seemed really important. Also, this looks like a very small cast of characters. And if that boy has had an erection for a number of days now, that's a problem. He should probably take something for that. Examine Fredo, which I presume is the boy. The couch's side panel warned that he'd exceeded the online time limit. I couldn't help notice that, yeah, I had noticed, yes. I'll check if he's... I'll touch his hand. I took his hand. It was slightly trembling, but with a normal temperature. That happens in games that generate lots of adrenaline. His fingertips were covered in sweat. No, not sweat. I rubbed the sticky substance between my fingers and sniffed. Berries and chewing gum. I have no sense of smell, so I don't know what smell like berries and what might smell like berries and chewing gum. I have no idea what semen smells like, and if his crotch is bulging that much. I can examine him again? Sure. I'll check to see if he's faking. I grabbed his shoulders and shook him a few times. No muscle tension, he wasn't faking it. The quiet sound of the suit's massaging devices grew louder as the supporters brought his body back to the optimal position. Haggis cleared his throat impatiently. I welcome your conclusions when you're ready. I should look at the other boy, right? Examine the suit. No, I should look at the helmet first. I leaned over to get a better look. Check the helmet number. To get a look at the number, I had to lift the boy's head. Yeah, I hope he won't get impatient. I gently grabbed his head, and tried to turn it a little. Fredo moaned. Careful, you're hurting him. I'll explain what I'm doing, or give up. I'm not going to force it. I know what I'm doing. He'll be fine. Do you think I'm blind? You're hurting him. Leave him the fuck alone or I'll throw you up myself. Okay, look, fine, I'm not going to continue. I will look at the helmet, though, and check the screen. The visor screen had no info on Fredo's virtual location. An intentional safeguard. Well, yeah, if he's got a massive stonking erection. The helmet didn't have an observer port either. There was no way to see what he was playing. Full discretion. Enough sniffing around. Tell me what's going on with my son. I'll calm him down. No, I'll share my observations. Don't want to leap to a conclusion just yet. Please note that these are initial observations. Your son is fine. He's just playing something exciting. He's been logged in for over 4 days, but there are no signs of adverse effects from the session. This is some excellent equipment you have here. Doing a hard extraction by taking off the helmet is a huge risk, and logging it out remotely is impossible. I know that, you idiot. That's how most systems work. So you don't know where he's logged into. I'll probably check the chair for that. The Virtualium data is masked by the helmet's discretion system. Gamedec equipment won't be any help here either. I need to find out which game Fredo logged into and then take appropriate steps. Fine. Just hurry. Fredo's friend Timmy is in the office. You can talk to him. Just don't touch anything else. Got it? Codex is a popular Gamedec tool. Codex contains important information that you gather during your investigations. Left-click an icon at the edge of the screen or press U on your keyboard to open the Codex. Get the fuck to work! I can look again. That's not Timmy. Characters? No change there. Virtualium? Technologies, couch, computer, suit, devitalization, diginets, gaming, chemicals, helmet, sensing, servobot. All things I should probably look at. Is this new information or more of the same? Ethical discussion. Okay, a little more information than I'd previously learned, but essentially the same information. Devitalization is a process generated by a player's helmet. It is responsible for activating a game pill. It is similar to the natural process of falling asleep generated by the pons. It entails disconnecting the brain's motor and sensory centers from the rest of the real body. Thanks to this, a player can move the limbs of their character in Virtualia and receive digital sensory stimuli at the same time lie still on a couch and feel no real stimuli. The only muscles that are not devitalized are the oculomotor muscles. Exactly the same expectation occurs during sleep. This phenomenon can be observed in the REM Rapid Eye Movement sleep phase. Multisensory Encyclopedia, edition 33. It's always edition 33. That's probably the most recent one of the one our character has access to. Gaming sensing, servobot. Right. Want to be a good player but still maintain good physical and mental health? This article is for you! A player's equipment includes a computer, couch, suit, and a helmet. Is that a blue link I can click on? The helmet may not seem like a spectacular piece of tech, as it's smaller than a couch or suit, but it's still the most important one. The helmet is responsible for devitalization and revitalization. The helmet lets the game inside your head. It monitors the sensory gates, it lets you smell and touch the game, move inside it, jump and run while your body remains motionless in reality. The gaming chemicals include the game pill and Nutrifluid, but that's a story for a different post, as it's the helmet that's really important. Gaming chemicals... Yes, it is links. Okay, right. Let's start with the computer. It all needs to be fast and reliable, so no cheap components and definitely no illegal antivirus software. Is antivirus software illegal in the 22nd century, or is it just that illegal antivirus software will mess up your computer, but legal software will do just fine for gaming? Because it'll detect easy anti-cheat as a virus every single time. Firewalls and antiviruses are the first and main measures of security for your couch and helmet. Don't spare any expense. We recommend Graphite 5.0 and the dependable Tyson 10. It may be expensive, but it's worth every credit. Next, the couch. Is this really information, or is it a marketing blurb to sell you the most expensive thing for everything? Many gamers overestimate it, believing that it is the heart of the tech. This is mainly because the couch is big. Most models satisfy the requirements for contemporary gaming, although budget ones may not prevent bed sores from intensive multi-day sessions and may also produce excess or insufficient heat. We do not recommend any low-city contraptions either. Choose a brand name couch offered by an authorized dealer. We also don't necessarily agree with the ad slogans of manufacturers who recommend purchasing all your tech from a single brand. You don't need to do that. All interfaces are standard and support one system. All interfaces are standard and support one system, so don't give us that nonsense. The suit is what protects your body from the outside. Suits are complex and much more advanced than the overestimated couches. The suit controls your body temperature and, together with the couch, prevents bed sores, but its most important function is to prevent muscular dystrophy and keep your motor system in relatively good condition. Let's not kid ourselves, no professional gamer will ever turn into an athlete. His osteoarticular system is rigid and fatigable, but it is still not deformed. If you buy a budget suit, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Get ready for a stiff back, muscle and joint pain, dystrophy and contractures. You've been warned. Gaming tech taken seriously. Pro Gamer Portal, author Hesperion. Also known as high price. Right. And I'm running again. Why am I running again? Interesting. So after I open this and click around a bit, it defaulted to run. What's this? What was this? Hello. An 11 bits couch in full working order. The latest model, obviously. I'll probably have to go into the game and help him out of it, but hey. The casing was slightly loose. I'm not going to remove a panel, but I will inspect it carefully. Huh. Okay. Remove the cover or remove the panel. No. I'm not going to take the device apart. Not the man standing there, and he said don't touch anything, but I will look. The side panel was loose. Someone's forgotten to tighten the screws. I'll leave it at that. I need to get back to the investigation. Can I interact with you, sir? Woman's couch. Oh, is that the mother? If he's playing some... That is really messed up. I hope she's playing something different. There was a rather provocatively dressed 20-something woman on the couch. The device's panel was flashing warnings. Probably not the mother then. Unless this is some kind of dodgy adoption. I'll check the couch's panel. No, I'll ask Haggis about her. Who is she? I don't know. I've never seen this whore before. Relations. Relations? Is the yellow skill, isn't it? No. It's a green one. No. I'm not sure how this came into being. It's probably to do with my relationship with him, right? The fact that I haven't pissed him off too much yet. He's pissed off already. I'll check the couch. No, I'll look at the woman first. She must have been planning a short session since she didn't put on a suit. Oh my goodness. How many days has she been there without a suit? She is going to be knackered when she comes out of it. She looked like one of the women I've seen on the computer screen in the hall. The blue-haired one or the other one? Probably the other one. There's a third one. So, like, the other one's got up to do a bit of work and is coming back or something? He doesn't know. But she either works here or is a close friend or relative or, you know, shag buddy or whatever of the woman who does work in the office outside. So he's kind of lying. Is that your assistant? She's just a random lowlife. Leave her alone and get back to my son. Haggis's face swelled up with anger. Explain, give in, hold your ground. Look, I'm trying to find out what's going on here and I need information. She may have some crucial information. Alright, just hurry up. I'll check the couch's panel. Look, if she is playing the same game as the son, she might not have the same privacy settings that he has, right? She's exceeded the safety limits for logged-in time. Over 4 days without a suit? She must have taken a game pill or her bladder wouldn't have held out. She started revitalization, but something interrupted the process. Yeah, the boy's probably keeping her in there. Even though she couldn't control her body, I thought she could hear me. Her helmet had an external monitoring port. I could connect to it and see what happened. I'll connect to the helmet. And well, hang on. No data still? Right. Wait. Okay, these are just left and right. They're not individual. It doesn't matter which one I click, it's just this space, as long as I click one of them. Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. Open! How do I open? Interesting. Right. I'll connect to the helmet and see what I can find out. Haggis noticed what I was doing. The observer's port, he nodded. I see you're prepared. I am a professional, sir. And as a CEO of a computer software company and hardware company, I was certain you would appreciate this. When I connected to her helmet, the image was transmitted to my lenses. Oh, if it's his face right up close against hers, I think I know where this is going. The girl drifted in an undefined space. It wasn't the network menu or any of the games I knew. Hello? I'm a Gamedec. I was hired by Mr. Haggis. I connected to your helmet. You can talk, and I'll hear you on my walktel. According to the login, your name is Starlet. Is that right? She moaned as if she was in pain. It is the blue-haired one, and not the other one. A Gamedec? That's great. Yeah, I'm Starlet. I can't seem to get out. What if it's a diginet that is not letting them out because it wants to... I'll look around. Well, I'll offer assistance, of course, but I'll look around. The digital space was filled with datasets that my walktel rendered as luminous shapes. I'll offer assistance. Let me try and help you. That's a weight off my shoulders. A progress bar appeared in your quest log. Whoa, I'd lost the option to question her now? Remember that maxing it out can prompt a negative or a positive outcome depending on the situation. I'll analyze the problem. Interrupted revitalization is rare. I could have just pulled off her helmet and that might have ended badly. There was a safer solution. Revitalization is like waking someone up. The senses are activated in a specific order. Hearing is usually first, so Starlet's was already active. Revitalization stages are displayed on the progress bar, but I couldn't recall the right order. I only remembered that vision was definitely last. Yeah, where are they? Okay, Starlet. I think I know how to wake you. Wait! I hear laughter! What's happening? It's definitely changing. My deck detected the girl's helmet being bombarded with exabytes of data. Someone wanted to overload it and terminate our connection. Could be the sun still. Starlet, someone is trying to either stop us from talking or probe me. Damn it! What are you going to do? The attack was intensifying. I didn't have much time. Observe the attack signal, activate the firewall, question Starlet, revitalize Starlet. Question her. Or activate the firewall. If I activate the firewall, it might also shut off my connection to her a bit, so gotta push for a few questions here. We don't have much time. What game did you go into with the guys? Try to remember. Deduction. Sometimes you will gain information directly pertaining to the deduction process necessary to solving the case. Left-click the deduction icon at the edge of the screen or press Y on your keyboard to see it. We were inside a game, but which one? I was attacked, that's all I remember, then I woke up here. How to help Fredo. Each main node in your deduction panel is the question you're trying to answer. On the left side of it, you can see the clues that you've gathered. Possible answers are listed to the right. Hover over them to learn more. Every decision in the deduction is binding and cannot be unmade. If you choose an option, let the father find his son in the game, you will in fact abandon this case. If you believe you have enough information, click and hold the left mouse button over the chosen answer. A game with PvP mechanics. The game that Fredo and Timmy entered allows players to fight each other. It has to be a game with PvP, player versus player mechanics. I mean, yeah, but she might not have been attacked. Right, someone could have hacked into the game and attacked, right, so it doesn't have to be a game with PvP mechanics. Get more information. Yeah, I need more information for all these. I'll observe the attack signal to see where it's coming from. This could be a trap. My connection was being overloaded with streams of incoming data. The walktail wasn't able to interpret it. One thing was certain, the attack was getting stronger by the second. Okay, I'm going to wake her up. We don't have much time. I'm going to try to get you out of here. Finally! Awaken her by stimulating her senses. Gonna be safe here. The correct order was key. The revitalization bar had stopped on stimulating proprioception. It seemed right to start with that. Starlet, I'm going to try and finish your revitalization. I'm going to need to touch your body. Is that okay? Do whatever is necessary. I'm not going to give her a shake, I'm going to just move her arm a little. I felt around for Starlet's arm, in Realium, raised it and moved it around. The revitalization bar moved forward. Proprioception complete. A good start, but the screen didn't display the next stage. Its vision last. The hacker broke through. We only had time for one action. Finish revitalization, damn it! Sense of touch, balance, smell. It's probably smell next. I decided to stimulate her inner ear, her sense of balance. I did not click that. I clicked smell. Give her a piece of mint gum. Yeah, that'll do it. I dug into my pocket for a piece of mint gum, took out a piece and carefully slid it onto Starlet's helmet. There was no reaction. I needed to stimulate a different sense. The noise is too strong. I'm losing the connection. No! Oh bugger, she is messed up. I got disconnected. Even worse, the attacker may have tracked me. I had no idea where this would lead. Well, that's bad. Starlet is unconscious. The couch panel flashes an interrupted revitalization alarm. I'll check the couch's panel. The display keeps reminding me of the interrupted revitalization. Removing her helmet in this state could be dangerous. There was nothing more I could do. Well, that's a real shame. I'd better go talk to Timmy. And I'm running again. Why am I running again? Finally. So Timmy's out here in the office. There he is. Should have probably done this before going to the woman, to be honest.
Are you going to question me?
Well, I'm not going to arrest you. Some dialogues require more effort. The blue bar above the dialogue window represents the emotional state of the person you're speaking to. Your choices influence that state. Try to find out how. If the conversation bar reaches a lock, additional information or dialogue options will be unlocked. However, hover over a lock to find out a bit more. Okay. Secret, 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 secret. This can go in multiple directions. The kid looks around with terror in his eyes. When I approached him, he trembled. Are you going to question me? Calm down. We're just going to have a little talk. Questioning is best left to the police. I'm here to help Mr. Haggis's son, so let's just talk, alright? Okay, I want to help too. He nodded, vigorous. We're moving in this direction. Tell me what happened. So there's more to be gained from scaring and intimidating him by the look of it. It was Fredo's 16th birthday today, and we were inside an adult game. He turned red and stared intently at his shoes. An adult game with PvP combat? Again, I think different kind of attack. What do you want to know? Ask about him. Say hello. Let's focus on you, Timmy. Are you alright? Are you alright, Timmy? You're slurring your words and trembling. How do you feel? Not too good. I'm a bit dizzy, but that's from fatigue. We played for a long time, you know? Look, it's alright. Just calm down. Doesn't seem like fatigue. Doesn't seem like fatigue, Timmy. Tell me what happened. You don't believe me? We didn't do anything strange. I'm a good gamer, and I gave it my all. That's why. Frustration worsened his stuttering. What else do you want to know? He sounded like a player with a slow connection. Either he was deeply stressed or something was wrong with his nervous system. Ask about Starlet. What can you tell me about Starlet? She's a stripper. She knew the game well, so Fredo hired her as a guide. She was very brave. He started to pick at the collar of his suit. What did she do that was so brave? She was dancing so flirtatiously and teasing us. She was so direct. He was embarrassed just thinking about the girl. She knew little of that world, but was brave enough to guide us, and she was so provocative. Thankfully, mainly towards Fredo. She barely spoke to me. Yeah, I can see this attack may have come from inside the room. He was looking at me with distrust. You're a Gamedec! Yes, I am. Yes, Timmy. I'm a game detective. Cool. Can you tell me a bit about your work? You know, this might actually help get him to open up. Even though it's a longer way to there and a shorter way to there. Yeah. What do we got here? How to help Fredo. What do we got here? A game for adults. It seems Fredo and Timmy went into a game for players over the age of 16. I hope Timmy's also the age of 16. I mean, it looks like he's in his early 20s. And we have Timmy. Timmy Randomski, school report. Age 15 years and 10 months, IQ 145. Damn, that's 5 points higher than mine. EQ 179, diagnosed with emotional hyperactivity. This young graduate of our School of Arts should not turn his education to the path of management, which was imposed by his parents, but continue to develop as an artist to find a way to release his inner conflicts in a creative and sublime way. It is recommended to grade him half a grade higher than objective, and not to, as his parents suggested, keep him on a short leash. Following our suggestions should produce a mobilizing and motivating effect that will support his unstable self-assessment. Psychometric data attachment 1. The 1st of the 7th, because it's American date format, 2199. Teacher Eva Stone, MSc. So yeah, encouraging him to follow his own ideas and continue investigation to gain more information. She is screwed. Unless we can save her. Right. Yeah, I'll indulge him. He's genuinely intelligent and interested. He might even choose to pursue this profession himself, although with his emotional issues that might not be the best. Sure, but I've also got a few questions for you. He nodded. Tell him about Gamedec work. I agreed to. I'm gonna do it. You wanted to know about Gamedec work. As a detective, I help people with their problems within the scope of sensory worlds. Emotionally, exaggerate matter-of-factly. He is hyper-emotional, so if I go with an emotional description and like tell him like, you know, I go in, I help people with their problems, he might he might get worked up, or he might get really intrigued, right, with the emotional approach. Exaggerate, well, that would play to his emotions, right? But it wouldn't be as necessarily as honest. But is this generally better because I've unlocked it? Because these were matter-of-factly, that might turn him off a bit if I make it dry and boring. Let's exaggerate a bit. Ever heard of CEO Slayer? I tracked him over 8 Virtualia, destroying many accounts and a government server on the way. But I caught him. Can't tell you his identity. It's a secret, you know? Amazing! That got me a plus yellow. But it was blue. What? Personality types. Yellow. Yellow type. Timmy's a yellow person. Perception of reality intuitive. Hierarchization emotional. When a person tells a joke to lighten the mood of a group. It's quite possible very yellow, but of course all types tell jokes sometimes. Yellows are infectiously enthusiastic and inspiring. They're always the life of the party, keep the conversations going and don't let groups fall into conflict. A lot like greens, yellows are dependent on the opinions of others, but they get distracted much more quickly, so when you speak to one, keep it short. Yellows value people, relationships and good moods. But of course they also have flaws. They're unbelievably forgetful, especially with things you've said during a conversation. That's why they tend to ask the same question several times. They also suffer from short-lived enthusiasm and an almost innate lack of orderliness. Introduction to Type Analysis. Excerpt, Thomas Abbey. We got a... Ooh, the expression went up a good amount. That's good. So does every time we get a point also increase one of the skills that comes off it? That's interesting. The boy's jaw dropped so low it almost hit the floor. Alright, I believe I want to help you. It was Fredo's birthday. Did I mention that? I'm not sure. So we logged into Paradise Beach. It's a place where adults get together. You can read all about it in the description. Well, I need more information from that. He turned red like my grandmother's geraniums. Okay, what do we got? Timmy and Fredo might have visited the Paradise Beach game. I mean, unless he's lying. Let the father find his son. In the game, Fredo feels neglected, so he's willing to do anything for his father's attention. I know that already? This is a dangerous provocation, born out of desperation. I should convince Haggis to log into the game, find his son and reconnect with him. Yeah, but then I probably don't get paid. Get more information to unlock this. Yeah, look for him in Paradise Beach. Paradise Beach is a world for people seeking love and sex. Fredo might be there. I should log into this game. Well, probably yes, but not just yet. Get more information, you know? Might even unlock this. Although this might have been to help Scarlet and get her to help. Okay. Let's focus on you, Timmy. What kind of games do you like? Whatever Fredo plays. Space sims like Dream Space or Dying Stars. Shooters too. Crying Guns is our favourite. Hey, look. Dying Stars, you know? Or Dream Space, which was the one my character played a lot again. Because she should sympathise with that, right? I believe you, really, I do, and I want to help. Oh, we're at a hub branch where the same line gets repeated a lot. He had trouble putting sentences together and remembering the events. It wasn't just shock. Something had really disturbed his nervous system. Your nervous system is overloaded, but it will regenerate. It will pass. Breathe. Ooh, what we got? What are these purple things coming around? That's looking serious. Timmy suffered a mental trauma. Timmy suffered a psychological trauma while in the Virtualium. One should approach his testimony with caution and treat it as somewhat unreliable. Let's talk about Fredo. Look, he likes him. Maybe he looks up to him. Okay? Your friend. I'll get him to talk about him first, right? Tell me something about Fredo. Anything you want. He's my buddy. Same school and stuff. Once this kid Alex called me names, so Fredo flushed his walk-tail down the toilet. He smiled at the memory. Then he altered the hollows in the school gallery to give Alex a pig snout that constantly oozed this disgusting mucus. Fredo's brilliant. You seem alright. I'll tell you what Fredo looks like in the game. He bought us both skins and mine was almost as cool as his. That's going to be really useful information. Old man Haggis doesn't know. We used an agent and covered our tracks so no one would find out that we were going into an adults-only world. Sure, so this skin, how do you... Do I need to talk about Fredo again? Ask about Fredo's relationship with his father. How are things between Fredo and his father? Do they like each other or not? And why did he want to keep it secret from his father that he was playing a grown-up game? Old man Haggis is paying you. No matter what I say, you'll have to take his side anyway. The truth lies where the money comes from. He grunted and pursed his lips. That's perceptive of you. He seemed to be gaining courage. What do you need to do to become a Gamedec? You know what? Oh yeah, they'll just give anyone the job. Just say you want to do it, and if you're good, you'll get a reputation. Lying to him it's difficult. No, I'll tell him he's got a good chance. Yeah. So, you want to be a Gamedec, Timmy? You know what? I think you could probably handle it. He smiled with disbelief. We got a padlock. Now, let's talk about him again. Let's focus on you, Fredo. Why did you log off? Timmy, why did you log off without Fredo? You left the game even though your friend kept playing. What happened? I didn't want to leave him. I was feeling bad, shaking. Yeah, I know. You don't leave your friends behind. He looked as if he was going to cry. Look, it's all right. It's okay. You know, sometimes if you're not up to it, you know. He was no longer terrified and just waited for the next question. Okay, we'll ask about Fredo. Do you have any enemies apart from that boy who called you bad names at school? Also, flushing someone's walk-tail down the toilet just for calling someone a few names is a bit of an overreaction. Now, if he did it a lot for like, you know, a few weeks or something, then it makes more sense. Huh. Has anyone been threatening Fredo? Did he have any enemies? No way! Everyone likes him, admires him, he's the best in graphics and animation, has awesome skins and bitchin' results in Fast Fury. He bought the best speeder, the one for 15 thou and... Yeah, right, look, I'll listen. He's an emotional person. Pointing out the truth might upset him and make him a bit more cagey, and this is getting him to relax and open up. I raised my eyebrows in amazement as I listened to a recounting of Fredo's achievements. The kid was burning through money, offending anyone in his way, and, interestingly, always able to avoid consequences for his actions. 'Cause he's rich. Timmy seemed to revel in his friend's insolence. He obviously believed that arrogance and poor manners were cool. He was slowly opening up to me. We didn't know, because we always buy the most expensive tech and win. And everyone envies us. No risks, you know. This was supposed to be like that. You know how it is, don't you? Well, why don't you tell me how it is for you, Timmy? Focus on what I'm asking, or I won't be able to help your friend. Timmy lowered his head and sighed. What? Ask about the virtualium. Really? That was ask. That conversation option was not clearly defined. Tell me, Timmy. How many worlds have they played in? What were they doing in the virtualium? Sure. What were you doing inside the game? So I can go backwards and forwards, but that stays unlocked now. Well, what you normally do in an adult game? Oh, I'm sure you were very good at that, Timmy. You guys were probably turning all the girls' heads, eh? Girls like you, admit it. They love such soft features. Come on, what were you doing in there? He straightened and tried to puff out his chest. There were these cool NPCs. They're cool NPECs. NPECs? or NPECs. I heard that Gamedec can pull players out of any tough situation. Have you always been able to until now? Well, there's this girl in the next room, so, look. Sometimes it doesn't always... I do my best. No promises, it doesn't always work. Again, he has over-emotional reactions, so I'm not going to be like a policeman. Or policewoman in that matter. I'm usually able to get people out of trouble, but I'm not infallible. Next time, just try not to do anything stupid, okay? He lowered his head. I understand. Damn it, I needed to know more about Fredo. Right, we'll ask about the Virtualium again. Why Paradise Beach of all things? Because the company made it. He's playing the game his father helped design, or like, yeah, helped create. Maybe he wants to finally see what it's like. Perhaps he's like been reading the manuals and stuff, like studying the development of the game without actually playing it, without looking at the grown-up stuff, and then get in there and see it all for himself and be overwhelmed a bit. Why did you choose Paradise Beach? Well, to have some fun. Yeah, go on. There's sensual wrestling to the west of the main entrance, where you can join some erotic tussles. Did you see it? Yeah, I won. I won 3 times. There was no such thing in Paradise Beach. The kid was lying, and I found out. He was looking at me with trust in his eyes. I'll ask about the Virtualium. How many worlds have you played in? Yeah, sure. You're celebrating Fredo's birthday today, and just one Virtualium? Yeah, but we did some pre-gaming here first. We kind of overdid it. Fredo had trouble putting on his suit. He realized that he had said too much and stopped. I need to go and investigate his suit. Intimidation. Let's keep... I know how things are, Timmy. When I was your age, I also went to parties and drank booze and stuff. He laughed. Booze is for the old or the poor. Fredo and I have better stuff. I bet you do. But the girl Fredo brought had booze. She said that it was included. Are you sure he brought her and not bought her? And why is her picture on the computer screen outside? He calmly waited for the next question. Well then, why isn't Fredo coming out of the game? Why is Fredo still inside the game? Have I locked off some options and offended to the point where I can't max this out now? I don't know. And do I click on that? No, I don't. I just mouse over it. Okay. I don't know. He liked it there and wanted to stay for as long as possible. Maybe he's having fun. Could Fredo have lost track of time? It would have to be an amazing session to disregard the danger of exceeding the permitted playtime. He was looking at me without much comprehension, but trustingly. Well, I'll ask a little more. Where did he leave Fredo? Where was Fredo when you came out of the game? He was on the beach by those big dunes. Were they planning on staying there? Should have asked about the details. Did Fredo want to stay on the beach, or did he want to go somewhere else? Fredo was having a good time. He probably stayed in that world, in that area. He was looking at me with trust in his eyes, and I now just get to leave him alone. Alright, Timmy. I don't have any other questions. What about the secret I got? Do I get that? Right, Timmy suffered a mental trauma, game for adults. So nothing overly new there. And he seems to be lying about being on Paradise Beach. I need more information. Can I talk to him again? I can.
What else do you want to know?
Nothing. Sir! Excuse me? Alright, Timmy, I don't have any other questions, but I'm going to come back in here. Wait. Computer. A stream of stock market quotations appeared on the screen. The hardware was high-end, just like everything else in these rooms. I'm not gonna... I don't need access to the boss's computer. System access was blocked, but I was convinced I could log on if I tried. This had to be the hardware that was monitoring Fredo's couch. I'll leave. If I want to monitor it, I'll ask the boss. In folio files, all open to the BWI homepage. Ego problem! I searched for information about myself. After all, I had once done a vlog about artificial intelligence. Not a word. Alright, fine, what is on there? The article was about Pygmalion, the flagship BWI product. Probably the article I read earlier. It allowed you to create living human psyches. I copied the rest of the codex to get back to it when I had more time. So essentially a way of getting the information I could have missed earlier. There was something over here. A piece of the floor just stood out from the rest. There was no chance of a flaw in design, not in a building like this. I'll take a closer look, but not touching. It looked like a hatch. It had to be the sound-activated safe that Haggis had installed. I'm not going to try and open it. Now, I decided to take a better look at the kid and his equipment. I examined the suit. The suit was equipped with advanced anti-bedsore software. It resembled the skin of a slithering snake. Check the brand, gotta check the branding. And he had problems putting it on. So his massive stonking erection might not be from the game, it could be from the suit overstimulating that part of his body. The suit was the same brand as the couch, 11 bits, top of the line. Blue Whales Interactive didn't own it though. Interesting. So it's not company brand stuff, or not subsidiary. I ran my fingers over the suit's surface. The synthetic fibers emitted more heat in the places where they needed to work harder. I'll check the couch. The 11 bits discretion and comfort couch reeked of luxury and unattainability. The system masked the player's login information. I'll check the couch's panel, which will also probably not display anything. The small screen displayed Fredo's vital signs, pulse, muscle tension and brain activity. Despite the high-end hardware, the kid was sweating and using much more Nutrifluid than he should have been. His body was exhausted. I will examine the body. And look at his face. I leaned over and looked under the visor of the helmet. No signs of an extended online stay. Expensive supplements did the trick. I'm still annoyed here that it chose the wrong result and not one I clicked on. Blech. He had irregular skin discolorations near the ears. I had no idea what would have caused them. Discolorations or deformity of the skin as difference. Okay. Other actions, yeah, I'm done here.
Fuck, how long do you expect me to wait?
He looked at me with disgust, as if to let me know I was wasting his time. Ask for access to the computer. I'd like to have access to your computer. He looked at me as if I suggested something absurd. This is how we do it. I pretend I didn't hear that and won't call security, and you'll keep pretending to be a professional. Look, it's about... I just need to check information on the couch. Director, if you've entrusted me with your son's life, I think you can also trust me with access to your computer, and I would trust you to stand there and look over my shoulder and make sure I didn't do anything that I shouldn't. He gave me a long, threatening stare from under a wrinkled brow. At last he answered, speaking slowly and enunciating each word. Axis Mundi. That's my password. And if there's ever a data leak, know that I will destroy you. I had nothing more to say to him. Let's get... And not running. That's a relief. It's a very fast walk that looks like a run. Who the hell are you?
Tim's father has arrived.
I sincerely apologize. I was told to take the boy, Timmy, home. The new mobile is waiting. Look, if I can get this sold relatively quickly, he can say goodbye to his friend before he leaves. Also, the parents have bad instincts that aren't in the boy's best interest. I'd like him to stay for now. Let him stay a little longer. I still need to talk to him a bit more. Timmy shook his head. Alright, I'll wait. When you're done, please send him down to the docking terrace. I suppose I'd better send him down soon. Computer access was still blocked. I'll enter the password. Axis Mundi. It's not 12345 admin panda. I suppose there is a panda over there to be a password. No. Access granted. Hi, honey bunny. What can I do for... She cut short mid-sentence and took a good look at me. Hello? Oh, you're not honey bunny. Did something happen? Is he alright? I hope you're his wife. I mean, is Jeffrey alright? Excuse me, I haven't talked to other people in years, so is he okay? Did he turn the wife into an AI? Look, it's nothing major, right? Nothing happened, I just need to access the computer. Oh yes, I'll give you a tour. I have access to emails, reports, bills, and some other systems. What would you like to see? Couch control. I don't need to see... I'm not going to look at the company reports, even though it could be important information. Who are you, by the way? I want to get to know you better. She smiled and shyly lowered her head. What are you? You're not just a regular program, are you? Oh no, I'm a Diginet. I figured that you were a digital person. I guess you were probably made by Haggis's people. Let's get that access. Internal building network or left... No, but I'm safe here. I have everything I need in my virtual apartment. I mean, sometimes the people I watch talk about different virtualia, and it does cross my mind that it might be nice to see them. But only when I'm extra bored, I swear. I'd never leave my honey bunny. Don't tell him, okay? Look, yeah, sure. I need to... Did you know that you look like and have the same name as Haggis's realistic wife? Yes, honey bunny. I mean, Jeffrey created me based on her personality from years ago when he was still developing the technology. So she's changed, you haven't. But I don't think we're the same person. I mean, I never met her, but I sometimes watch her through the cameras. What's this about cameras? Oh yes, I have access to the security center. Sometimes when I'm bored, I check to see what's going on. Alright, that's enough of that. Couch control, please. I want to access the couch control panel. Who's logged in, who's logged out? Couch 1. User logged in, Fredo. Couch 2. Most recent user logged in, Timmy. Couch 3. Most recent user logged in, Guest. Meaning, she's no longer considered to be logged in because she started logging out, but she hasn't finished logging out. Show me Fredo's monitoring. Do you know where he's logged in? I'm afraid that data is encrypted. Honey Bunny made it so, but I can connect to the boy and describe what he's feeling right now. Yes, please do. she has the personality of his mother when she was younger. She might be shocked by what she sees, but she might be able to empathise with him and explain his feelings better. Alright, please do. I'm making the connection. I can't say I like the kid's thoughts. Ask about Fredo's thoughts now. Yeah, ask this first, that second. What don't you like about him? It's hard to say. He makes me sick. I sense the same purple scent from him as I do from Honey Bunny, but his is barely noticeable, whereas Fredo's... It's hard to explain how I receive them. Synesthesia? I think that's what it's called. Yep, that's what it's called. Oh, it's getting hot. He's very excited, far beyond the limits of red ecstasy. Focus on the ecstasy. Describe it. Oh, yes. Crimson. I love that colour. Oh, all that red. Do go on. Don't stop. Amaranth. Scarlet. Crimson. Ah, of course it's scarlet, but with 2 T's. Oh. Ah, Honey Bunny. Programming error. Have a nice day. Blue Whales Interactive, never alone. Should have gone deeper. Realium personality types. Red. She's red, or the boy is. I think it's the boy. Red type. Perception of reality, intuitive. Hierarchization, reflective. Goal-oriented, independent, honest, quick-thinking and practical. If a person confronts you for no apparent reason, impatiently interrupts your sentences, and expects solutions without detailed analysis, they probably represent this type. Reds value facts, especially ones that help them get what they want, and also... when it comes to negative aspects of his type, we should definitely mention an overuse of power and a brutal way of speaking, sometimes even acting, which often leads to... Introduction to Type Analysis, excerpt Thomas Abbey, of course. Right, do we have more clues? No. But we've also been told it's not Paradise Beach. I bet I can't... Yeah, I can't do that again. Alright. So, not the best investigation so far.
Fuck, how long do you expect me to wait?
Yeah, alright. You're a company executive, not a bit foul-mouthed, aren't you? He's even got the red jacket. Go. Ask about access to the couches. Who has access to the room with the couches? My guests and I do, but no one except Fredo uses them when I'm away. He looked at the couch the woman was using. Or at least that's what I thought. So that's not me asking for... Can I... She's unconscious, but... Her breath was shallow and she wasn't reacting to anything. A coma. Oh, goodness. Mr. Haggis, this woman needs a doctor. I can't help her. You're wasting time and not getting any results. What's going on with my son? Don't worry, I'm working on it. I think... Timmy?
I don't want to be here anymore.
Alright, Timmy. You can go home now. I don't have any other questions. Go on home. A look of relief appeared on his face. He appears to be still there and not leaving. So, with my limited deductions, I'm going to have to look for him in Paradise Beach, which is going to be really bad. Look for him in Paradise Beach. Virtualium. Ah. Next step of my investigation. Hopefully just for one... Right. Gather more clues or make a deduction. Inform Haggis of your decision.
Fuck, how long do you expect me to wait?
I hope it's something important. Mr. Haggis, I've come to a decision about Fredo. About fucking time. Alfredo may be stuck in Paradise Beach. You know, the world for people looking for love and sex. I'll try there. Haggis gritted his teeth. I know the game. I programmed it. I don't think he's there, but check it out if you're sure. Here's a vacant couch. Well, thank you. For the facilities. This will be a nightmare, but I think this is something I should investigate in the next episode, because I've gone for well over an hour. I hope you've all enjoyed this first episode of this brand new to me game. I think it's been out a little while now, and I do look forward to see you all in the next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all next time.